Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Paranormal Karen, funny too. Paranormal Karen, she's so spooky. Oh, and did I mention she's funny too? Yeah, cha-cha-cha.
Hey everybody, welcome to Paranormal Karen. I am doing this bonus episode because I want it as a reference. So here's what it is. So many of you are sending me emails and letters, and everybody has ghost trouble or something like that. There's so much going on, which I'm going to go over why in a second. But I thought I'm going to put on tape here what to do if you have trouble. And it's a step-by-step, because I know we've done a bunch of shows on protection and stuff like that, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to read to you guys the email that I send to people when they really have something going on or they're really scared, because the activity is so much. So this will also be my reference thing. When people ask me, I can say, go to the bonus episode about protection. So this is going to be short. This might even be, I don't know if it'll be 20 minutes or not. But just so you know why things are picking up so much, I just listened to Joshua P. Warren's podcast, which, by the way, it's really good. It's very short. He's like 15, 20 minutes a day, and he's always on top of the news and whatnot. And I always tell people the veil between the worlds is getting thinner. I mean, you can even think about how the earth is expanding faster and time is going by faster. But he made a great point when he was talking about how much EMF is actually and magnetic stuff we're doing to the planet. The planet actually is changing its sort of energetic the way it always has been, and that is with, satellites and internet and Wi-Fi and all kinds of stuff is in the air now that wasn't before. So we're literally changing the world. Even Wi-Fi in your home, we're finding out can cause people to see ghosts that aren't there, or see things, have psychotic things happen if the Wi-Fi is too high or there's too much Wi-Fi around. Also, Wi-Fi is exactly what I believe the spirits, that's an energy they like. That's an EMF. That's something they can sort of grab onto. So as we change, the world is changing, and I think we're making things easier for ghosts or, that kind of spirits. So we are changing the Earth's magnetic field. That's about it. So that being said, well, also I think people are getting more in tune, and it's kind of like people talk about the 3:33 a.m. rule, like, oh, somebody woke me up at 3:30 a.m. That's the devil's hour, which originally the thinking with that was that Jesus died on the cross at 3:30 p.m. So take the exact opposite. 3:30 a.m. would be like Satan's hour or something like that. I don't buy that too much. I'm not too much on the 3:33 rule. I believe that's just when it's quiet and we notice more. Ghosts are there during the day too. Nobody's waiting until midnight to pop out and scare you or anything like that. But for now, if you have something in your house or you just want to bring a higher vibration to your house, here are some tips. And I'm going to count them because I already taped this once and I didn't number them. And then all of a sudden I went number 8. And I thought, people are going to be like, what? We were supposed to be writing these down. Is there a test? No, there are 11. No, there's 10. There's 10. Okay. So here are 10 ways to protect your home, to raise the vibration, and just make it better if there's anything in there you're frightened of, to kind of try to move them out. Now, this is basic protection 101. This is what I tell people. You may, if there's bigger trouble, this may not work for you. And then you may need to email me and I'll talk to somebody, or we figure out what's going on. If it's bigger than just a ghost, that this isn't moving them out. But most of these tips in here, if you go back and listen to the Tracy Huffman episode, these were some of the tips she used, and she had a full-on demonic thing in her house. So this is pretty powerful stuff, as sort of insignificant as it seems. Now, I'm going to tell you something else about your space. I read tarot cards in my apartment. on the phone. So I am already sort of creating a paranormal space, let's say. I'm already connected. I'm already sort of, you could say a little bit of a light to the spirits that are around. So I do all this stuff as much as I can to keep them out. So my house is a little more intense than yours. If you are in an apartment, you may be picking up things from somebody else. If you have people over, sometimes people can drop something off. Apartments are very different than homes. So you might have something temporarily in your apartment that just you get rid of it, it pops out, goes to the next apartment, comes back, shows up a while later. So apartments are different. If you have something in your house, it can be A, something that followed you, B, something moving around an apartment building, C, something that was there, they feel like that's sort of their space. So that's sort of the three things we look at, okay, when we're starting out. So the first tip, declutter. Marie Kondo has that right with the tidying up and getting rid of stuff. That is very important. Hoarders have all kinds of, I don't know if they're elementals or spirits, but when you're hoarding, keeping a mess, dust, that's why abandoned places that look so awful, they're usually haunted. Clean up. Keep things clean. I don't know why in California, if you live out here, someone needs to tell the people of California that a garage is for a car. I have never seen anyone use their garage out here for anything but stuff, piles and piles of stuff. So you're kind of inviting with that kind of a mess, okay? So clean up. Clean up. All right. 2, if you have something negative, you want to burn a little stick of Palo Santo. Okay, you're going to use that exactly the same way you would a sage. You're going to light it. You're going to let the smoke just kind of wave it around, sort of like it gets rid of negative things. So Palo Santo will get rid of something that is negative. Sage brings in light. Okay, so you want to know the difference there, because if you do too much saging, you can sort of open up a portal or sort of open up energy. Then things can come in. So if you think you have something negative in your house, you want to use the Palo Santo. That's just great all over. It's not as smoky as sage, and it will just do the job to force things out. You want to do that with the windows open. Think of it this way. Think of it like a physical being. You want it to have a way out. Now, sage actually scientifically, some scientists actually proved that it actually clears the air. So if you're thinking smoke, it actually takes stuff out of the air and makes it clearer to breathe. So Palo Santo to get stuff out, sage to bring light in. Okay. Number 3, incense, lavender, frankincense, dragon's blood. I just found some really good dragon's blood incense, very cheap on Amazon. I also sometimes use the resin, but that's a whole production and you need a lot of stuff. So, you want to just get those incense. You burn those, if you can, hopefully with all the windows open, and, keep those. I try to do one a day. Sometimes I fall behind on that, but basically what you're thinking, I know we're giving your smoke detector a workout here, but that is just like a higher vibration. That's all we're trying to do here. Whatever's in your place, it might be negative. It might be a lower vibration. Okay. All this stuff is a higher vibration and a calming vibration. And you think of this stuff as like every time you do it, you're painting a thin layer of protection on your walls, thinner. Every day it gets a little bit thicker, and it sort of calms everything down, especially that lavender. I just got an email from the nicest lady, and she's using the lavender and the salt, which we'll get to in a bit, and it really helped her out. It was such a great email. Thank you, my new friend. Also, stay away from vanillas. Okay. This is not all the time. This is if you have something in your house. Vanilla tends to stir things up. I know I love vanilla. I always like to smell like a cookie. That's what I get. I go to that, Bath and Body Works, and every Christmas I get their vanilla cookie something. I love it so much. So I have that sometimes too. But if you're having trouble, keep the vanilla to a minimum. I've always said I would marry a man that tastes like maple. So I guess my standards are pretty high or awkward. Okay, so incense, lavender, frankincense, dragon's blood. Also, oils, okay? Lavender oil is probably the safest, the best, the cheapest. Don't get a synthetic lavender oil. You want to get the real thing. doTERRA sells a great lavender oil. Rocky Mountain Oils is my favorite. They're both really, really good. You want to get a diffuser. Now you can get those at Walmart. You can get them at Target. You can get them anywhere. They're really good because you put the water in and you put in the drops of lavender and it just kind of blows it into the air. It's not an overwhelming smell. It's just enough to sort of put that out there. The other thing is you can do it on the stove with boiling water. Just put some lavender in, and I guess you wait till the water's boiling, then you turn it down, put your lavender in and sort of let it go and keep it on a low boil. That's good, but then you kind of have to mess with the stove. You have to keep an eye on it. The diffusers have timers right on them. They're great. I have one that I sleep next to my bed. I set it for 2 hours with lavender in it, and I fall asleep and then it goes off. If you do listen to the podcast with Tracy Huffman, she would walk around every night with a hot cup of water and lavender and just bless her home and just do it over and over and over. That's the key to what I'm talking about here. You do this for 1 to 2 months, your place is going to be clean. You have to keep up with it, okay? Almost all the time when people are like, it's back. I'm like, well, did you keep up with all this? And the answer is no. Kira from my other podcast, she had a hard time, because she was away or, her family goes back. She couldn't get a consistent I think she saw 3 or 4 different people. I told her about this. Some people gave her some music stuff, but you have to be consistent. That is really going to get it out. Okay. Also you can use anise. But don't worry, anise is that thing that it smells licorice. It smells like black licorice. That is if you had a gin, they don't like anise at all. So you would substitute anise for lavender. Okay, number 5, Gregorian chants. Yes, Gregorian chants. I know I can't say it. I certainly can't spell it. You want to download those on iTunes. I use those. You can use some classical music or some singing bowls. There's singing bowls are amazing. And YouTube has some videos that are like 4 hours of singing bowls that you can just leave them on. This is a really high vibration, especially the Gregorian chants. And when you first hear them, you'll be like, oh, now I feel like I'm in a horror movie. What is this? All these monks singing. But they are really good for setting that vibration. I sometimes turn them on Alexa and leave when I go to walk the dog. And I just play them loud enough so that the neighbors hate me. You want to make sure, because anybody that hears that coming out of your place is going to be like, what the hell is going on over there? Or you can play them lower if you don't want your neighbors to hate you and just leave it on. I have a whole Gregorian chant album from iTunes. I don't know what they're chanting, but you get used to it and kind of tune it out. Remember too, whatever your music is, if you like hard rock or acid rock or whatever you're talking about there, it's fine. You can use that as long as it puts you in a higher vibration. Okay, number 6, salt lamps. I love salt lamps. If you can sleep with one on, you're going to have the best night's sleep ever. They are a little bright, so that's up to you. They also have salt lamp night lights. That's very good. Keep that in your kids' room. Salt everywhere. Okay, the salt lamps are now at Walmart. They're very cheap. In fact, Walmart has this weird thing. I'd never seen it before, but it's a light. So it's like the salt lamp, but the salt is like in balls. They're in big, they fit in your hand. And I think they heat up and you can actually use them for massage or something like that. But they're gorgeous. So that has made it mainstream. You don't have to look for any special shops for that, and very reasonably priced. Salt in your bath. Everyone, without a doubt. Salt cleanses your energy. It takes out the negativity. Just perfect. If you don't take baths, you want to use a salt scrub. You don't have to scrape your skin off. It's just about sort of cleansing your energy. If you listen to my friend Patrick DeHart's episode, he got an attachment, and what he was told was to put salt in a face cloth and then put it over his shower head. So the water sort of went through the salt. Salt everywhere. You can also leave bowls of salt if you don't have a pet with high blood pressure that would eat bowls of salt. I don't know if that's true. You can put them in the corners of the room, put them in the middle of the room when you leave. They will absorb the negativity. Salt, always, always, always a good thing. All right. 7, EMF. Okay, this is sort of not really a protection thing, but I just wanted you to know. The EMF, we use in ghost hunting, we use EMF meters to measure like electrical outlets, how much energy is coming out of there. You don't want to be sleeping next to one. There is a crystal called Russian shugnite. Okay, this was, it's actually not just like a magical crystal, but it's something that scientists use because it actually, I don't know if it blocks or it absorbs EMF, but it is a good thing to have, especially Russian shugnite jewelry. It's a black stone. It can keep you kind of safe, keep it off of you, off of your phone, that kind of thing. Also, they sell these little triangles. There is a web episode I'm looking to do, and it is called Biogeometry. And it is about changing that in your atmosphere. And Russian shugnite is just so helpful with that. And also, when we are, okay, so here's number 8. Shut off your Wi-Fi if you can at night. Okay. Wi-Fi is really creating a lot of energy and really giving these things more power. I'll never forget when the power went out in my apartment building and I actually went downstairs and stepped outside. It was not only pitch black, but it was as though everything that had sort of been, maintaining their energy with the Wi-Fi and the electricity stopped and kind of was all in the courtyard. And it felt, I'll tell you, I got back up to my room pretty damn quick, because I think these things are sort of sustaining on the Wi-Fi. In fact, at the Comedy Store, in Hollywood, which is very haunted, used to be Ciro's, just this really haunted place. They just put a podcast studio in the basement, which was one of the most haunted places ever. I don't know that that was a great idea, but I do know the ghost stories have started again and it's not good. So they're sort of feeding into that, I think, unwittingly. Okay, number 9, lemons. Lemons. Nature is helping you out. Lemons. Put a lemon in every room. A lemon that is aging in positive energy will simply get hard, okay, and actually kind of turn into a gourd. It will stay for years. It will not rot. It turns into a hard little, almost like a golf ball, and sometimes you can shake it and hear the seeds in there. That is if there is positive energy. If there is something negative, you will see it start to turn black, or one side will come in, or, something like that will happen. When they fall off the tree, it sort of breaks. That's why they rot in the yard. But do that, lemons around your home, and just see how they age. Okay. And number 10, the last one, gratitude. Okay. All this is about making your place a higher vibration so that whatever that lower vibration is, it's uncomfortable and it gets pushed out. If you go to sleep at night, or you're, you kind of like our imagination can run away. There may be a ghost that was there once, but if you're thinking about it at 2 a.m, you're going to freak out whether it's there or it's not. So one thing, and I do that a lot. I mean, I really go to head first in. I go to abandoned places or haunted places. And then that night when I go to sleep, I wake up at 4 a.m. and think, what were you doing? What if you were transformed right there, right now, and you were alone? Like, my head does that to me. So I make up a gratitude list. I change how I'm thinking, and I go right into, thank for my dog. My dog is healthy. He's with me. Thank God my parents are there. My friends, whatever. Thank God for potato chips, whatever. Just start making a gratitude list and change your vibration. Okay. They also, you can sort of, sometimes I'll just say the Lord's Prayer over and over, not for religious reasons, but it sort of gives me that, I tell people when they chant to maybe chant that, because you have to think about it just enough that your front brain is active, but not enough that you, get distracted. So it's not like, it just is very helpful. Fear is the thing that these things like, fear and anger. So once you change to that gratitude and just sort of thinking about everything that's great in your life, and I know you can find something, that really helps out. And here's the thing. You're listening to this podcast, so you're in touch with your dark side. In fact, I don't even kind of like that word or that phrase, dark side, because it makes it sound like it's wrong. I call this our curiosity side. You're listening to a paranormal podcast. Sorry, there's a motorcycle going. That guy has a dark side with the motorcycle that goes by my house. If you listen to this podcast a lot, you know that just happens. In fact, I find it very interesting. I know two people that are that positive, where like you wonder if they ever get mad. And of all the people, I know so many people that have done ayahuasca, and the only two people I know that really had negative trips were these people that are just the positive, never get angry. And I always wonder if they are not in touch with, quote unquote, their dark side, or they fear their anger or something like that, that once they went into that ayahuasca, it sort of came at them. Just a theory, just one of my theories. But you're here with me, so you're in touch with your dark side. You know what you're doing. Okay, everybody. So just remember, keep that vibration high. I bet some of you have some tips. You can send them to me. I hope this helps you out. And you do that, you shouldn't have any trouble. If you still have trouble with something in your apartment, or it gets a little more aggravated, you can always send me an email at paranormalkaren.com. Paranormalkaren at Gmail. I'm at Gmail, or karenrontowski at Gmail. You can go to my website, karenrontowski.com. That's it, everybody. We're all perfectly clean in our houses now. Have a great day. We'll see you at the regular episodes.